Is it warocracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
On
with it.
Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria,
where you are the judge.
Welcome back. The program is still called Digest, a steamy breakfast, very participatory program on Core TV News Lagos. And today we are looking at Biafra agitations and the Niger Delta Avengers. Which way forward? As I have with me in the studio, NONSO EZIKA. He's a legal practitioner. Many thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Now, Biafra agitations have lingered since the 1960s. Here we are hearing about the Niger Delta Avengers also trying to demand some things which may seem not very clear actually, because they seem all to be mumbled up, even involving Biafra and all of those. What do you make of these demands by these groups?
I like your choice of word. You say it's mumbled up, it's mangled. It's not that it's manifold, it's just mangled up. No clear-cut idea, and that will begin to give you an insight on how to analyze such agitations. If somebody stands up to say, like Ojukwu stood up to say, I declare a state of Biafra because this happened, because this happened, because this happened, that's where we stand. If people like the Mosop leader, the late Ken Saro said, look, there's this injustice, there's this oil spill here. It's very clear as to what he's saying. But when somebody has mangled a lot of things together, and then you want to separate them, you begin to understand that there is more than meet the eyes in what he is saying. I have tried to look at the issues. We have been here since the Civil War. Some of us were here by the Civil War. We read the history of it. We understood the sequences of events. We saw the run-up to that Civil War. We understood how it came about. And we understood how the name Biafra came about. And we are aware that that name Biafra was wrested officially. The name got to a close. The insignia, the banner, and everything closed down. Consequently, there is nothing existing by that name Biafra, and there's nothing to exist by that name Biafra. That is not to say there should not be agitations. We have argued severally and made the point that these issues you're reflecting as Biafra can still be captured. Just simply saying, we the Southeasterners, we are against marginalization. You have simply made the point. But by the time you say, we the Biafrans, what you are saying is that you intend to be violent. What you are saying that you intend to oppose the government of a state. What you are saying is that you are propagating a state within a sovereign state. Any person can desire independence. Any person can seek self-governance. There's nothing wrong with it. What is wrong with it is how you go about it. Britain is seeking to exit Europe, and they are not bombing anybody. Parts of Canada, they're exiting. Nobody is bombing anybody. So it's a question of how you decide to go about it. That's the problem.
Okay. Now, some of the demands, well, we've been hearing about marginalizations. What's marginalization in what sense, really? I know it's not like you're a mouthpiece for these groups, but it seems to be the recurring word. We're being marginalized and in everything. In what aspects are we to look at this from?
Like I told you again, I'm afraid in using words. Right in your religious houses, somebody is marginalized. Right inside a church, right inside a political party, somebody is marginalized. Right inside a family, somebody feels marginalized. You notice your kid will say, you gave me this brand of milk and you gave my younger ones this different brand of milk. He feels marginalized. Somebody has felt you gave him 2 pieces of meat, you gave others 3 pieces of meat. He feels marginalized. Now, there have been agitations for marginalization, against marginalization, so to speak. The issue is, what is this person looking for that he is complaining about marginalization? Are we talking about the derivative principles that we operate in? Are we talking about the federal character principles that we operate in? Are they not running properly? I have done a work which some groups came up with this Igbo marginalization, and I said, give me a breathing space. I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand what you mean that from your records as journalists, you have the records that if you sit for WAEC, the highest scoring persons there are from the Southeast extraction. If you sit for JAMB, the highest scoring persons there, the first 10, all the Southeast states will go. You are not marginalized. And then you notice that there are states where in WAEC, in JAMB, they have 2 persons passing JAMB as it were. All right? Now, if you want to be fair to yourself, you will not expect that in a federal state they will bring your 200,000 persons that pass WAEC and fix them into one school. I will not give one person an opportunity. And if they do that, you say you're marginalized. Now you now look at it and say, so invariably, in commerce, you're okay. In education, you're okay. In sports, you're okay. Where is this marginalization coming from? You are talking about you are not the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's just simply what you mean by being marginalized. That is the summary of marginalization. I am not the president or the federal. And if that is what you're saying, you say it openly and we'll know how to go about it.
And well, I think that actually also isn't something that the president could just decide. It's not like a gift. Maybe it's something that one needs to, canvass for, campaign for. You're part of a political party because that is the terrain we're operating in.
Power is not given. It has never been given. Power has always been taken. You position yourself to take power. But I want to state something quickly here. Well, I don't know how much time we have left. The president, as we have him now, the party in power now had not managed victory very well. They have not been very magnanimous in victory. That is what has brought up issues of these agitations. And then rather than somebody say exactly what my complaint is, there are papers going rounds that of all the appointments made so far by the president, there is no single Southeasterner in his appointment beyond this last one made for the Nigerian Broadcasting Organization.
What is Chris Ngige?
No, I'm talking about the personal appointment that has to do. We are not talking about
special advisors,
special advisors,
special assistants,
corporations,
okay,
customs, immigration, those agencies. No single appointments. All the appointments he has made so far. Then you see south, you see states like zones like northwest having 14 appointments, states having 12 appointments, southwest having 4 appointments, including our own good, very self-additional is included in such appointment. You understand? And then there is no southeasterner.
Okay, but then should these appointments actually have been in the form of one's origin, in the form of one's ethnicity, or on the basis of one's capacity, skill, and prowess?
Now that's why I use the word he has not managed victory very well. In as much as we are talking about being capable, being persons you know very well, you will not tell me that in the entire Southeast you will not find somebody that has the competence to sit on any particular office. It's not proper. It's unheard of. All right. So what we are saying that for whatever it is worth, certain things should spread out to give persons sense of belonging, to give the impression that, you see, I know you are there. In as much as he did not vote for you, in as much as he has expressed his democratic rights, and it did not go your way. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you will notice also that these issues of marginalization, avenging, and avengers just came up, became pronounced after somebody lost election. Now people felt we have lost hold in the project called Nigeria. Presidency is not Nigeria. There are so many things that make up Nigeria. People should understand that and understand that very well. So when they call for restructuring, I keep asking, what are you talking about? Are you what exactly do you want to achieve? You restructure because it has not favored you today. When it was favoring you, there was nothing called restructuring. Are we restructuring in the sense that I hear people say the presidential system is bad. I hear people say the parliamentary system is bad. America is running the presidential system perfectly. Britain is running the parliamentary system perfectly. Kingdoms of Jordan, Kuwait, running monarchy perfectly. So it's not a question. There's nothing has to do with the restructuring anything. It has to do with, like Mr. President has come to do, address critical issues of economy. Let the money go round. It's not 2% of Nigerians that we have. Let the money spread round. Let the wealth of the nation go round. I think that's the much everybody is talking about.
Okay, now 2 days ago there was a chaos in some parts of the southeast. Following the protests by pro-BIAFRA agitators. So much happened, and of course, coupling that now with the activities of the Niger Delta Avengers in the Niger Delta region, blowing up all wells and threatening to do even more, And then we're just wondering, where do we go from here? So much seems to be happening. Recently, the president deployed, arsenals to that area, deployed arsenals to that area, military officials, everyone to go walk and unmask these people, bring them to book and all that. But under their watch, more atrocities were committed. These folks have threatened to do even more, and have even given the federal government a deadline to June the 5th to release those persons that were arrested in the course of the protest. What do you say? How do we handle all of this?
I must have to say that it's a pity we have come to this. That a country like Nigeria, rated about the 4th strongest army in Africa, unarguably the strongest army in West Africa, then you see a set of ragtag fellows, cover their face, and then they are, frightening the nation. Like you mask your face and frighten a kid, and then you jump around, and then somebody says there's nothing wrong with it. There's everything wrong in it. Nigeria as a nation has belittled itself for so long. If Nigeria has stood as a strong force is supposed to be, are you telling me that a group of 5, 10, 20 persons will have the firepower to overcome the strength of Nigeria? Something is wrong somewhere. Those are the issues we have to look at. How did we get to the point where individuals, I just want money. Before, what we used to have is that you make a lot of noise, you take people, they call you and say, look, let's settle this issue. But now is you blow up pipeline, and then blow up pipeline, they call you and give you money. When the money starts going down, you look for some other names to call yourself, and you start blowing up pipeline, they come in again and give you money. That's cheap blackmail. That's blackmail. You can't tell me that Nigeria does not have the intelligence, capacity, the force to address the issue of militancy.
Okay, now looking at what you mentioned earlier, that this group comes at some point, say they are compensated, they regroup and they are back. As it stands now, the former warlord or former militant leader Tompolo seems not to be part of this, because even the group is criticizing him for not being a part of them. So somehow, how do we actually, this group is actually faceless. There seems not to be any connection. Several times we've tried searching out the name mentioned, who is this person, does he actually exist in the military, and of course there's never a record of him. So how do we bring them to book? Well, I know they dwell in communities. We know they must be dwelling in some communities. Even the leaders of the communities are against their actions, which makes it even worse for them to be apprehended.
My lady, the person is faceless. There's nothing stops anybody from bearing that particular name. And anybody can make any post. We have seen people kidnap their own mother and go and report to police that we are looking for our mother, just because he wants his brother in London to bring money. We have seen people kidnap their own children. So anybody can do anything, unless and until you are clear about who this person is. You cannot, by a stroke of the pen or by what you see in a post, strike out this person or look in the direction of any person. Everybody is a suspect. The issue is, we have an approach. We have done the amnesty approach. We have done the use of force. All right. You notice that the amnesty approach has failed, and failed woefully. Because how it ran is that it compensated criminality. The moment a criminal notices that you have compensated somebody for being a criminal, he goes ahead. The moment people notice that you kidnap somebody, you get money. And everybody say, no, just give him money, let him go. Tomorrow, somebody else is kidnapped. But the moment you start coming hard on criminals, somebody will think twice.
But in this case, coming hard on them is having very adverse effects on citizens of the community. They are fleeing. They are, at the moment, they are stuck in forests without food. And even as one of the newspapers mentioned here, invasion is affecting WAEC NECO examinations. So students can't even go to school. They can't even sit for their exams any longer.
My sister, I told you we are in war. That's battlefield. That is a battlefield. Somebody is trying to exert authority he does not have. I have, for whatever it is worth, we are of the opinion that something close to a state police will solve these problems.
Really?
Now you ask me what I mean. Just last week or thereabout, the press reported that a state like Cross River inaugurated what he called, I think, green police. Just your duty is stay in the forest and guard the forest. We used to have forest guards before in those days. So they inaugurated forest green police. The only difference, you don't carry arm, but you are trained on what to do. Lagos State has the traffic police. Lagos State has the KAI. It's a kind of police. All right?
Yeah.
Now, nothing stops states, communities from having a structured police to take care of the security critical infrastructures. In other words, it's a system where that particular kind of police, I use that word relatively, that kind of police will liaise with the communities. It will be police from the community that answers to the governor and have good working relationship with the Commissioner of Police and the other law enforcement agencies.
Okay. Now, so may I come in here? Now, I know this could be just threats, but no threat should actually be taken lightly. Everything should be considered, and there should be intelligence gathered as regards it, and resources should be actually pooled to ensure that whatever threats are made, do not come to reality. These persons are threatened so much to go after everyone who comes after them, families now. And you know how this, I don't know how they operate, but at least, they have their own structure. They keep talking about our structure, our command, these...
Strike force.
Our strike force, everything. They even got to the point of promoting their ranks, at some point decorating them, okay, because they've done well and all of that. So, do you really think that with the current welfare packages that are available, that people within the community would be willing to go on this difficult mission, sacred mission of policing their community when they know that they and their loved ones could bear the brunt of it?
They know that they themselves are endangered species. Now let's take it this way. The president is going to clean up Ogoni land. With due respect. Some of the pollutions that occurred there were deliberate busting of pipelines. And it's going to cost the nation and the international community funds. The community is also suffering. I understand that the fish pond the president set up there has just vanished. The land totally polluted by oil spills. Now is a narrative. Is a narrative you will sink into the ears and drum it down communities to understand that the first place that is a battleground is your community. the person that loses economic value is a community. Just imagine, these oil wells are just there. It's not to say that an oil well cannot be sited any other place. That if you decide to close down that infrastructure, this oil you drill from that particular point can be drilled from any other point. It's a seismic survey. It's not to say that the thing is just pinpointed there. Anambra State argued that they are oil producing state because you chose to drill the oil from Delta. You can also drill it from Anambra State across Nigeria. So what I'm saying in effect is that if you let the community understand that the soil that is being degraded, suffering degradation, is your own very soil, not the soil of Mr. President, not the soil of the army man you're calling his name there. Let the community know that they are ones being deprived of means of livelihood. That's one. Number two, let the community understand that this oil can cease. And the moment something that thing ceases, and the government will think of what to do with money, it's not to come and clean self-inflicted pains. Particularly when you observe the fact that you have complained about not being cared for by the center, rightly or wrongly. Because if we equate the speed with which government is reacting in rebuilding the Northeast, the master plan of rebuilding the Northeast, it's not the same master plan for rebuilding of the Southeast.
And the South-South?
And probably the South-South. No master plan for rebuilding of the South-South. You understand what I'm saying? So if you look at the way the things work, you will understand that it will not do you good to be destroying what you have and giving yourself the impression that you are punishing somebody else. Because that man, with dexterity, with speed, with what your Igbo man will call alacrity, ran to the Northeast to rebuild it. I look at the Biafran agitators. You shut down shops, you destroy shops, you destroy the economy of your community. You ask somebody to close his shop to come and follow you and do matching. That man has to pay school fees. Where do you want him to get the school fees from? Most of the roads and pains Southeast is going through is that they have not recovered from the war. Some of the bombs that were dropped deliberately to destroy critical infrastructure in the Southeast. People should understand that. Major link roads in the Southeast were deliberately destroyed by bombs to stop troops movement. Major link bridges, not even major, the link bridges of backyard communities, they understood that military, the Biafran army was using to migrate. Those backyard bridges were deliberately destroyed and none of them have been repaired. So if you go again and then if to destroy more with all the reconciliation, reintegration and rehabilitation, no one is going to work for you.
Okay.
People should understand that narrative and understand it very well.
Okay, well, you've said so much. So let's quickly go on a break. And when we return, of course, we'll talk more on this, and you will have the opportunity to be a part of this conversation. All you need to do will be to put the call through to the number showing on your screen. Join us after this break as we take a closer look at this topic.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com.
Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, our 24-hour news station. Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, our 24-hour news station. With over 7 billion of world population and still counting, the world needs to hear you now than ever. Whatever your ministry or vision is, Gospel Africa will help get you there faster than you think possible. For inquiries and participation, contact 009 503 3859 or 0812 076 0011 or visit www.gospelafricang.com. Gospel Africa, your #1 media solutions for the church today. Gospel Africa, showing on this station at this time.
For topical issues, Nigerians must have something to say.
Arms. We don't need arms for anything. Let them put it into education.
They need to buy another arms now. What are they fighting for?
Government should deal with them squarely.
Please help us bring back our guests. No money, no markets. We are dying. Everybody is crying. Nothing.
Any man God support, no man stops.
It's a prophecy I believe he must have received from heaven.
Yes. The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Glad to have you join us again on the program called Digest on Core TV News Lagos, where today we are looking at the issue of Biafra agitations and Niger Delta Avengers, which way forward. We're looking at how we can get out of all of these stories and news of violence and chaos we're hearing every now and again, how we can dwell peacefully and have a united front. Well, as I mentioned before the break, you can be a part of this conversation. What you need to do is put a call through to the numbers showing on your screen. Remember that if you call in from outside Nigeria, you should include the international short code +234 and the number is 0816-481-8001. 0816-481-8001. I still have with me in the studio NONSO EZIKA. He's a legal practitioner. Many thanks for being here, NONSO.
It's a pleasure.
Now, we've spoken so much about these two groups and, well, trying to look through what the agitations have been over time. Now, the Niger Delta Avengers have succeeded in making some really grave allegations, mentioning some names. Now, it's could be for different reasons. I would want to know what you think of it, because people see from different quarters. Some want to see it as a blackmail, some want to see it as that there should be an out of truth, or is it to just distract the military at the moment and, give them some time to plan some more, to strategize some more? What exactly is it? So what do you make of these allegations and these names that are being mentioned regularly?
I think the first thing we should realize, this is propaganda.
Okay, now so please, we'll quickly take this call. This is John calling from Ghana. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, sister.
Morning.
And also good morning to the gentleman who is with you.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. I want to contribute based on the issue of Biafra agitation. I think the world has that everyone know what is his right and his left. Nigeria as a country have expired since 100 years ago. And let me use Ireland, Britain as an example. When Ireland wanted to depart from Britain, they come up with a protesting that they want to go, having state of Ireland. British government called for referendum. They didn't shoot or kill any innocent protesters. Then they called referendum and they voted. The masses who don't want to go won. They are still in peace. Nobody is dying. Nobody is killing each other. But this BIAFRA agitation has started since 1966. They have killed people in death. Nobody wants to look into the matter. All the Northerners want is kill all the Biafra, kill all the Biafra. I think that is not the way. The gentleman sitting there supporting the Northerners, maybe his family is enjoying from the Northerners.
Okay, John, okay, I really wanted to ask John a question. That might have been what happened back, as prelude to the Civil War then. But could that be what is happening, what is repeating itself again?
I think he got his history slightly slanted. We know Sinn Féin. We know the battle between Sinn Féin and Thatcher. We know the destructions. So for him to say that there were no destructions, there were no battle, there were no fights, is twisting a little of twisting of the history there. But that's by the way. Now the issue of Biafran agitation, what we kept saying is that any person arguing anything should argue it within the confines of the law. Now, what is the confines of the law? First thing is that the name Biafra was laid to rest after the war. The banner, the insignia, was banned. It was banned. Now, anything done in that name, as within the sovereign state of Nigeria, is illegal. That does not mean that somebody cannot rise up and say, like I said earlier, the Southeast feel marginalized and they want self-governance, they want independence. If you want that, like he said, you do referendum. I said Britain is doing it. They want to exit Europe. You understand? Yeah. Nobody, we don't have any problem with that. But I want to let him, my brothers, our people, the Biafrans know that you don't make your community a war zone. Because repairs that we incurred 30 years ago, 40 years ago, has not, the damages of 40 years ago has not been put right, even as at today. So we should not go ahead. Okay.
Now, before the call, we're talking about the names. Okay, let me take Christian calling from Sierra Leone. Good morning, Christian. Hello, Christian.
Yes. Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Morning to you.
I want to add a little thing because I'm just watching the television now and I'm just hearing things. When I just watched my brother on what was talking, I don't know. I just want to ask me a question. How much did they pay him for what he's doing now, please?
How much do they?
On the question, because I know the way the Biafra is talking, and now he's now telling us that Biafra has been laid to rest. I don't know whether it's the one that buried Biafra or he's the one that buried Biafra or whatever. The Biafra, they fought the war, they lost the war, then they were under Nigeria. And what our forefathers fighted for how many years back? We are still working towards that is direction, what they did. But what I'm just hearing, my brother, is that maybe you should not follow our other teachers. I don't know. I'm just hearing. That's why I said I wanted to ask you, how much did they pay me for what he's doing now, please?
Okay,
That's the only question I just have for you.
Christian, thank you. Each man, of course, is entitled to his opinion.
That's why we are here.
Yeah, well, I know you still speak, but...
and I'm not reacting to that.
Yeah, Nonso was just called here to speak as a legal practitioner to analyze the issue, of course, in the ambit of the law. He's from the area, so it's not... He wasn't... Well, okay, he said he's not reacting to that, but we didn't bring him here on any platform, or maybe he's been paid to come speak either on behalf of the government or on behalf of the Niger Deltans, or on behalf of the Biafrans, as you know, they are calling themselves at the moment. He's here as a legal practitioner to shed more light on the matter we are discussing. Now back to the issue of the names of military personnel that have been mentioned by this group.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It has to. You don't sweep it under the carpet. You will investigate such things. They have mentioned funds. Those funds are moved. I know that the government has a software that tracks funds movement, that I have come in contact with. So if such funds have moved around, those funds will be investigated. But I want to state that that post should be treated with caution. Number one is that it is primarily a propaganda issue. That's a man that says he is defending somebody, and that's a community he's destroying.
Okay, please let's take this call now. Innocent calling from Ghana. Morning to you, Innocent.
Good morning, my lovely sister.
Morning.
It's good to watch on your TV this morning. I'm happy this program is coming up on the TV station. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Let's have your contribution.
All right. My brother here is saying Biafra is being buried and stuff like that. And the previous person I called, I want to also ask him, who buried Biafra? That is number one question. And he was saying the works have damaged and stuff like that. Biafrans have not recovered from it. Now, if I went to a fight with my own fellow man and the man beat me up, does it mean next time when the fight comes on, I shouldn't fight? No. For the fight, for the reason that the man beat me the last time, doesn't mean he's going to beat me again. Because I set up a business, and my business goes down, or flood come and take over business, or fire come and take over my business, and I lost everything. Doesn't mean I shouldn't start up in the business. That's right. Is this? We want freedom.
Okay, now, Innocent, what efforts are you as an individual? Because I perceive you are someone from that area, and you're probably calling yourself a Biafran. What efforts are you putting in place to achieve this freedom? Okay, we've lost connection with Innocent. Now, Innocent is called in from Ghana, and I'm looking at the synergy, the strategy that, he's using from that part of the world to influence the supposed freedom of this group of persons from the nation Nigeria. If you can really call back Innocent, I would really appreciate it.
Let me react briefly to Innocent, not joining issues. Innocent gave illustration of setting up his business and flood takes over. Will it mean he won't set it up again? I will advise Innocent, the next time you want to set up the business, you do your survey properly so that you don't set up your business in a flood-prone area. You do the seismic test, and you don't set up your business where there is likelihood of tremor and earthquake. I think that's the position.
Okay. Now, the names have been mentioned. You said it shouldn't be swept under the carpet. Investigation
should be done. But I want to state also, like I said, primarily that it should be seen as a propaganda statement. What do you do with propaganda? You want to destroy, paint somebody else black, and then draw attention to yourself, win sympathy. Now you see them repeating the issue of civilians are being killed, individuals are being killed, parents are being killed, babies are being killed. That's to draw up sympathy. Now, when he blows up pipeline and then the petrol spills, there's a spill, and somebody takes that polluted water, that person is not likely to die. When he blows up pipeline and then the means of livelihood of somebody crumbles, that person is not likely to die. So those are issues you have to dissect, and you see that the basic thing there is propaganda to draw sympathy and give you the impression that he is winning the war and that the other man is losing the war. You know, that he himself is doing the right thing, that he has a genuine feeling for his people, and he has a genuine cause he's fighting for.
Okay, now, well, we have another call. Let's quickly take Israel. It's calling from Uyo, that's from Akwa Ibom State. Good morning, Israel.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
This is Israel. I'm calling from Uyo.
Yeah, please go on with your contribution.
Yeah, please, about this issue of Biafra, I think I'm certainly lost with the whole thing. For me, let me just give you my stand on this. I think Nigeria as a whole, they serve the people. And if I'm talking about Biafra, I'm from Akwa Ibom, no doubt, but I don't think I can identify myself with the Biafra as well. So if I want any division, I want it to be as in, let's divide it from the north, south, anyhow they want to divide it. Even if they want to divide it into 4 places or into 4 parts, let them do it. And let them as well see the need to give Biafra their own republic or thereabout, or anything they are fighting for. Let them just give it to them, because the killing is too much. Trust me, the killing is just too much. So let them settle with them, and let them as well divide the north, because the north is not favorable. And if from Uyo here, I don't know if they should divide it, if I will be joining the Biafra, but trust me, I don't want to, my dear. Trust me, I don't want to. So anyhow they want to divide it, let them do it. I don't want to be part of Nigeria. I don't want to be part of Biafra. If they want to give us Niger Delta, let them do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Israel. Well, Israel has thrown up so much, really, because I was really going to ask, you know, if you look at it, the Niger Delta states are somewhat different from the southeastern states, at least, that are now coming together. There are members who are now coming together to say they are calling for the Republic of Biafra or sovereign state of Biafra, whichever one it is. And, you know, but a development now that also caught my interest is the fact that the Niger Delta Avengers are, you know, throwing their weight behind the protest that took place on Monday, and equally calling for the release of those who were detained, the pro-Biafra dictators who were detained. So the question really is, should there even be any iota, any mention of Biafra? Is it going to be a combination of the southeast, the current Biafra dictators, and the Niger Delta? Because the Niger Deltans would even tell you that they are not Biafrans. You know, so it's like each group asking for his own independence, asking for some freedom, you know, of some sorts.
It's interesting that this group of persons have gotten all the attention they desire. It's also interesting to know that this is a case of an enemy to my enemy is my friend. The Niger Delta Avengers have an enemy. The Biafran agitators have an enemy. and they have a common enemy. Now that common enemy called Nigeria, that common enemy personified in Buhari, President Buhari, and I'll tell you why. This last election that we had was the most fought election in terms of bitterness, in terms of acrimony, in terms of bias bursting in people. And then you notice that people have not come to terms with having lost and having won. Politicians are interesting lot of persons. They are people that can use anything to win election.
Okay, and NONSO, may we quickly take Taufik calling from Oshogo. Morning to you, Taufik.
Yeah, good morning, my sister. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Yeah, my regard to the lawyer in the studio. I appreciate him always well. I think this is a man that knows much about the issue of the Biafra and the Niger Delta issue. How do I mean? Because he's from the southeast, and you can see how he purged the scenario. So I will advise you on one point, which I appreciate you. Those that come from Ghana, Syria alone. The first point you have in mind, are they in Nigeria with us? They are not with us. The suffering that is happening in Niger Delta now, even the southeast, they are not part of it. They are away. So please count that statement aside. Now my contribution. You see, the issue of this Biafra, what I want to first of all say is that when the former administration was on board, we didn't hear much about them. Why now? Why are we playing politics with Nigeria? Please, we need to move on. Secondly, look at the Niger Delta issue. The same scenario. I had one of the spokespersons at Channel Television. He was saying that because we lose the election, it annoys me. Are we not Nigerians? If really we are Nigerians, we should behave like Nigerians. If we have differences, let's come to the round table and discuss it. The question I have for the South is calling for Biafra. If truly they needed Biafra, they should stop their people to represent them in the House of Assembly at the national level. That is when we believe that, okay, now they have come together that, okay, we are not with Nigerians. When some of you are bringing them down to Abuja, they are contributing to national deliberation, and you are saying you are calling for Biafra. That's from home. And the man in the studio is advising them proper. Don't fight war in your territory, because whatever you are destroying, you will rebuild it. And when you are rebuilding it, it will cost you a lot.
Thank you very much, Taufik.
Now, I was saying before Taufik called that this last election, politicians exploited us. The man doing adverts says to the fullest maximum. Yeah, they exploited. These political scientists told us that politics, religion is the opium of the masses. And then the politicians understood that. Now, they played politics of a religion, played politics of ethnicity. Now, persons whose religious inclinations were in question before they run up to the election, just during the election, they started parading around churches and getting prayers. Persons whom you may not have seen around the mosque, just as the election was coming up, they paraded themselves around. And then people started attaching ethnic sentiments to it, and then blurring reasoning. And then the moment you get that ethnic direction, you have bought over the people.
Okay, so let's quickly take Prince calling from River State. Morning, Prince.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, good morning. First of all, I want to thank you for ending the supposed media silence on the Biafran issue. and having the courage to speak about it on your station. First, I want to say the Biafran issue cannot be overemphasized because it's obvious. Everybody knows there is marginalization of the South and Southeast here in Nigeria. And let me talk about the protest where Biafrans has been killed, or rather the South and Southeast agitating for Biafra has been killed on several occasions. Let me take an instance of what happened on Monday 30th, where these protesters at Onitsha were murdered in broad daylight by the Nigerian security operatives, and nobody is saying anything.
Prince, were you
The
part
one
of the
that happened
protest?
at Aba, the high school at Aba, and nobody complained.
Excuse me,
There is video
Prince,
going
were
on.
you a
Hello?
part of the, were you a part of the protest? Did you actually witness these killings that you're talking about?
I don't need to be a part of it to know. Even you yourself know that these videos are on net for everybody to see. The pictures are there. Even the Nigerian security agencies were trying to justify the killing of those that were killed on Monday at Onitsha, that they attacked them and this and that. My problem is this. Nobody is complaining about these killings. These people are supposed Nigerians. Since we want Nigeria to be one, and these people are Nigerians and nobody is saying anything. The international community realizes and recognizes anybody who wants to agitate, just like your guest there, Mr. NONSO, said. People are free to agitate for what they believe in. And they can't just be killed in broad daylight because they're agitating for it. And nobody is saying anything about it. Let me digress a little about these Niger Delta Avengers. Why these people are busy blowing up the pipelines? They have made their demands known.
What
They
are
are
their
saying
demands? Okay.
these oil wells cannot only belong to the North, and we, the indigenous people, have none in our name. Can these issues be addressed? I believe that if you want the Niger Delta Avengers to drop their arms, you want them to stop bombing pipelines, the issues to be treated. It shouldn't be swept under the rug, and nobody is talking about it. I want the protest to stop. You want the Niger Delta Avengers to stop bombing pipelines. It cannot happen.
Okay, but
These
Prince, the oil wells are actually situated within the
problem will
Niger
continue from
Delta
year to year, and
region.
we might.
Your point noted, Prince. I would want to mention something. You mentioned that the oil wells should not belong to the North alone, but as it is, the oil wells are situated, they are rigged within the Niger Delta region. And, well, we understand that the launching of the cleanup of Ogoniland begins today.
We get him right.
Okay. Or that the refineries or the proceeds.
No, you didn't get him right. You see, there are problems, deep-seated, rooted problems. People should not use certain issues to address it. See, there are things called oil wells. The ones you saw them, the OMLs, the OPMLs, all those wells where the oils are drawn from belong to individuals. These individuals are supposed to partner with Nigeria or with an international body to draw these wells, who get paid. Now what he is saying is that those wells, all 90% of them or more belongs to persons of northern extraction.
Okay.
That's the point he's making. And I think that point is well taken, and that issue ought to be looked into. But what we are saying is that there are ways to look into issues. That's the point I'm making. That's just to answer what he mixed up in what he was saying.
Okay. Okay. Now, so many things.
So I was saying about the politicians and the use of ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they threw up issue of ethnicity, some people bought it.
Mm.
And then for you to come out of such things is difficult. So, Mr. President, former President Jonathan lost election being a Christian. The Southeast stood by him. being predominantly a Christian community. The South stood by him, being his son of the soil. All right. Now, and he played, the politicians remained on that and played by it.
Okay, may we quickly take Livinus,
Very
please?
well.
He's calling from Cameroon. Good morning, Livinus.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
You're on, Livinus. Let's hear your opinion.
Yeah, good morning. So good morning to the brother that's on the studio. Yeah, the German man. I didn't go to school like him, but I'm so much in my opinion. What I want to say concerning Nigerian and the BIAFRA militant people, I would like to say that if people want to discuss it, it's good to add more turnout. Because in Nigeria, we have Muslim the Boko Haram. In the written, it is called Boko Haram, but I believe that it's not Boko Haram. This concerns Hausa people. Because if that case did not concern all of them, I don't see the reason why the whole government of Nigeria could not handle Boko Haram for how many years they are fighting for Boko Haram. They are living among their people, and their people hide them day and night. And you cannot tell me that they do not know them. They know them individually, they know them very well. But they cannot expose them to the government. Now, the government cannot fight against them. But when Eastern people rise up for any protest, according to, we are no longer on military rule. We are democracy where everybody can exercise their freedom. As long as you do not bring it out in a way of fighting, as long as you win something, you don't have to allow anybody, you can protest. But anytime protest rise in some part of Nigeria, you will hear killing, massacre everywhere. You will hear bloodshed. But in the different part of Nigeria, we have not had the government went to a particular state. Instead, they are afraid to attack the Boko Haram. The Hausa will not complain that they are killing their people. Okay. Now, our brother in the studio were saying that this issue of Biafra did not come up in the time of former ruling, the Gulag.
Well, we were really trying hard to get to, but I think we picked some words, and then there were some allegations which I would have wanted proof of. You know, when we make allegations, really, we should try to be factual. You know, we can't just brandy some words or brandy some opinions because we are so touched by what is happening, we're getting so emotional about it. But there's a need to actually, have a balance. Everyone is entitled to his opinion, definitely, but of course also we should, mention these things with facts so that others listening can actually learn from what we are saying.
We condemn in totality the
Which
use.
people now?
Myself sitting down here, I condemn in totality the use of excessive force on protesters. I have not spoken about addressing protesters. What I have tried to do is to address the protesters themselves, that you should not expose yourself to danger. You should not destroy your community. But the military, if the allegations are facts that you opened fires on people carrying flags, it is not proper. But I would want also to equate it with the manner the military went after the Shiite Muslims in Kaduna, in Zaria. You wipe out an entire person. You understand? So issues should be addressed with the kind of circumstances will determine. I think from Niger, Biafran protesters, agitators, I think the police can handle such things. is a tear gas issue. I didn't hear of any of them carrying guns.
Are you talking about the protesters?
The Biafran protesters, the ones agitators.
Oh, actually, one account as even mentioned by the Anambra State government, the Commissioner of Information, Nachita, mentioning that the protesters were, of course, on a peaceful protest, but that it was hijacked by some hoodlums who first opened fire on the police officials detailed to watch them.
That's the danger of protests. You know, in Lagos here in the days of sit at home, when the protest was Abiola has won election, peaceful protest organized, people marching, and then suddenly you see hoodlums coming, and that's why he's kept saying, if there's any way you can do it, control your protest and your march. That's the position. So that hoodlums, we agree they are hoodlums, they hijacked it. Let's take it from there.
Well, let's please take Hakuna calling from Akwa Ibom State. Good morning to you, Hakuna.
Yeah, good morning, my dear sister, and happy new month.
I wish you the same.
Yeah, please, because I was on the television this morning, I was hearing argument from Biafra, Niger data, and so on and so on. Please, I'm part of the Niger data AVENGERS. I'm part of them. Because I cannot hide my identity in my own country I come from to become a slave for over 1,000 man. I will not take that. We have the oil and we are suffering like a slave. Many of us don't know our destination and we have oil. So I think I prefer, if Nigeria needs to be divided by 4 or 5 places, still good. Everybody know their stand. Yeah, everybody know their stand because we cannot have the oil and Hausas will only come there because of our oil and take our oil and use us as a slave.
Okay, now, Hakuna, but how do you think you can actually achieve what you're looking at if you're a member of the Niger Delta region and you're seeking something from the Nigerian government? Do you know do you believe it's actually possible to get whatever your demands are without actually getting to this process of bombing up, the source of revenue of the country?
Because that is what the president needs. How
do you know that?
He's doing the type of election, we suffer for him, we deny our right for him, even a promise he made for us to refuse, whether it's for him to be using us, to be traveling every day to go and get ammunition to come and fight Boko Haram. And the same time to fight us.
Hakuna, may I come in
stealing our oil at the same time.
Okay, Hakuna, please. Has there been a time that you actually, spoke to your representatives, members of the House of Representatives, senators representing your area, to speak on your behalf to the president, since they seem to have an easier access to the president than you probably do?
My dear lovely sister, all of us in Nigeria will come from, but this Nigeria, say, we could divide into 5 places. Nigeria will get on their own country. Biafra will get their own country. Hausas will get their own country. Because only what remain now, River Niger Bridge, now remain.
Okay, now, Hakuna, even with the division, are you sure that the Niger Delta will stand alone and there will not be marginalization? Because we are looking at Ijo, we are looking at some other Isoko. There are different ethnic groups, even within that Niger Delta. So how are you sure that you'll be well represented in that sector or in that division?
My dear, you should just give us, create a chance for us and stay and see how we are going to manage ourselves.
Thank you so much, Hakuna. Hakuna been so factual here and, speaking so much. Of course, we understand that people are pain. People are really so emotional about what they are going through and all. But, I don't think we should just actually, drive at some conclusions so quickly without... We hear of, their processes, really. In, what is it called now? Talk? Negotiations?
Negotiations, dialogues.
Have there really been those dialogues?
I want to make it clear that terrorism will never cease. It has never ceased in any land.
And someone said it's even a sign of the end time, like it's
agitations will never cease. Complaints of marginalization will never cease. Even in America, people, the Aborigines are complaining. People are saying that they are black Americans are, white supremacists. There's always agitation.
Okay, let's quickly take Titus calling from Taraba State. Good morning, Titus.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Fine, thank you.
Hello, I want to contribute to the program, please. Hello.
Hello, Titus, we can hear you. Just go on.
What I want to contribute in this program is this. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Titus, we're all ears.
Okay. First of all, I will talk about the issue of Biafra operating. That issue of Biafra, if the Biafra something cannot disturb Nigeria, then let the Nigerians leave Biafra to go. Or if they know that Biafra is the life of Nigeria, let them come out and tell Biafra that you, the Biafra, you are the life of this country. So we don't want you people to go. As simple as that.
Okay.
Then about the Niger Delta. You see, you cannot land somebody and tell him not to cry. You cannot be somebody and tell him not to cry. Since years, all the money using for this country is gone here. Why can't you put things in order that place? So when things is put in order there, I think there's no problem. So all in all, this is what I want to contribute. If Biafra is the life of Nigeria, then let them come and tell the world that Biafra is the life of Nigeria. That is all.
Okay, now, Titus, I have a question for you before you go. In the past, there were occasions where certain funds were released to the Niger Delta region because of the oil wealth that, they possess. But can you reconcile the funds that have been released to them with the projects that have been carried out in the area? Because what the realization later was that it's like some of those funds were actually embezzled by those who were in charge of the program at those times. Are you still there, Titus?
I'm hearing.
Like, you really... Okay. I know, well, there are different stories, do I say stories now, trailing the amnesty program. And the program was beautiful. So many folks dropped their arms and all of those. But that, it appeared those who were coordinating the program itself were not fully using the funds for what it was set aside for.
I must confess I didn't see the amnesty project as the document itself, so I may not be very competent to speak on what were the contents of the amnesty. But from what has happened and what is happening recently, it will just seem to us that some certain persons were just given money because they took arms. Because these people have arisen now. You gave somebody some money to protect pipeline. You need to give me some money. That's just how I see it. So the question, if we want to do amnesty, we should do it in a manner that will not give the impression that you are compensating criminality. You should do amnesty in a manner that you are saying, let's come and talk together. I think that's the position.
Okay, so the way forward of all of these Biafra agitations, Niger Delta, Avengers, the way forward?
The way forward simply is, Mr. President, as you have it now, should be more magnanimous in victory. And then our brothers, the ones that have lost election, should also be magnanimous in defeat, should accept defeat. I keep using the word that some persons are still suffering from election defeat syndrome. You know, it was traumatizing. It was shocking. I saw the shocks. I saw the pains. I saw the agony of losing election. It's written over, and then you see people, you know, carrying the agony of having lost election to pitch tents in Biafra, agony of losing election, you pitch tent in Niger Delta, Avengers. And the question you asked that they have not answered is, where is the NDDC? Where is the Niger Delta Ministry? Where is the funds states like some Niger Delta states collect are more in the federal allocation are more than what certain countries in West Africa pick up. They run budgets, financial budgets more than. So you ask yourself, where is those money? But there are genuine issues that has to be looked into, and there are always and all the time genuine issues that people need to look into. I have argued and I finalize by saying the restructuring I demand for Nigeria is that the center should lose some of the powers it has. For me, Nigeria does not need a federal ministry of works. It does not need a federal ministry of education. It does not need all those federal ministries. What do you need a federal ministry of works for? Or is it for road? Federal ministry of housing to build house. So when everybody notices that there's so much money in the center, it's creating great problems.
Many thanks to you, NONSO EZIKA. Well, that's been it today on the program, where we've been discussing Biafra agitations and Niger Delta vendors. Which way forward? Our guests have spoken, our esteemed audience have spoken. We've heard all sides. But what we're taking away, the underlying factor, is that we know some of these things, you know, would continue really, but patience, we say, is a virtue. And of course, there are approaches, there are manners, there are processes, there are steps, there are ways we can get our voices heard. There are persons we have put in places of authority to speak on our behalf, because they are like middlemen. We may not have easy access to those persons at the center, but we have representatives who can speak to them. Let's explore those avenues, let's explore those opportunities, and let's see what becomes of it before we then know what exactly we should do. Two wrongs don't make a right. We don't blow up stuff waiting that somehow things will change. The economy is depressing each day, and we cannot allow that to continue. Let's just embrace one another, let's sit together, and of course, as our guests and even our callers have mentioned, let our president and everyone in place of authority sit together, and let's come up with strategies, let's come up with measures, let's come up with systems that can help every Nigerian to feel they are part of the nation. We are all together, united we stand, and divided we fall. And let's remember that our strength is actually in our diversity. I must sincerely appreciate you, NONSO EZIKA, for being here today. He's a legal practitioner. Many thanks for your time and your thoughts today.
It's a pleasure being with you.
And of course, our esteemed audience and everyone that's been a part of this, many thanks to you. Join us again tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're bringing you another edition, another topical matter of discuss. On behalf of everyone here, have a very beautiful day. I am Abosedi Omowi.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.